Yuji is often a character which is overlooked in Jujutsu Kaisen, and his current feats are actually much more impressive than you think. I would go as far to say that Yuji is a special grade sorcerer at this point in the story, and I'll go into why I think that. But before we get into the video, don't forget to like and subscribe if you are enjoying the content at the moment. I'm trying to upload daily Jujutsu manga theories, and I'm going to start delving into different manga, so let me know if you have any recommendations in the comments. But without further ado, let's get into the video. So as of right now in the story, Yuji hasn't actually had many fights with special grade opponents. The main noteworthy fights being Mahito, Yuta, and 15 Finger Sukuna. So Yuji's fight with Mahito isn't the most helpful in scaling Yuji against other characters in the story, as Yuji didn't actually beat Mahito on his own. On top of that, Yuji had immunity to Mahito's idol transfiguration, which could be considered Mahito's most lethal weapon, especially when he opens his domain. It is unclear whether special grade curses are supposed to scale to the same as special grade sorcerers, but for now we can say that a low special grade curse could scale to a special grade 1 sorcerer. If you did consider Mahito a low special grade curse, then after gaining his true form, it was said that he would gain 200% increased toughness, which makes him 3 times stronger or tougher. With this power increase, he would probably scale to low to mid special grade sorcerers. Yuji was unable to beat Mahito on his own, however it was clear that Yuji was able to scale relative to this form of Mahito, in terms of durability, speed and strength. This feat alone probably isn't enough to convince many that Yuji is a special grade sorcerer. However, his fight with Sukuna and Yuta might convince you otherwise. So Yuji fought Yuta at the end of Shibuya. This was a weakened Yuji who was already exhausted from lots of previous fights in Shibuya. Straight away, it was clear that in terms of speed, Yuji was scaling relative or even higher than Yuta, and for the most part in their fight they were fighting as equals. However, Yuji did end up losing after the intervention of Rika. However, Yuta is a special grade sorcerer without Rika, so it could be said that Yuji is scalable with a special grade sorcerer. With Yuji's fight against Sukuna, it is unclear as to whether Sukuna was constantly fighting at below 10% power, or whether his cleave and dismantle and cast techniques had just dropped below 10% power. But either way you look at it, Yuji was fighting almost on par with a 15 Finger Sukuna, tanking many blows from Sukuna as well as matching Sukuna's speed at many parts in the fight. Then, when Maki gets involved in the fight, we clearly see that Yuji was matching Maki's speed, and it was clear that Yuji and Maki's damage to Sukuna was somewhat relative. It seemed to Sukuna that Maki was a little bit stronger than Yuji, and at that point in the story, I think Maki would beat Yuji in a fight. However, let's just say Yuji scaled a little bit below Heavenly Restriction Maki. Now I want to get on to Maki's feats quickly, just to show you guys how impressive it actually is for Yuji to scale somewhat near to Heavenly Restriction Maki. So after Mai sacrificed herself to allow Maki to unlock her full potential, Maki straight away destroyed a special grade 1 sorcerer in one shot. This was a combination of speed blitzing and overwhelming him in power. Despite this, Maki was not even close to full power. This was because previously Maki had received a fatal wound, making her much weaker and slower than before. This was also before Maki was considered on par with Toji Zenin, as she was yet to reach her true understanding of Heavenly Restriction. Maki went on to destroy many other of the Zenin clan members, beating many first grade sorcerers as well as a special grade 1 sorcerer who was set to become the new clan head, her cousin. Now Maki was exhausted after fighting and killing the rest of the Zenin clan, and she still managed to come out on top against this special grade 1 sorcerer. It is clear that if Yuji in his fight against 15 Finger Sukuna could scale relative to Maki, then Yuji would scale far above any special grade 1 sorcerers, and potentially puts Yuji at special grade at this point in the story. Now after this fight, we've had a month time skip in which Yuji was training as well as ingesting many cursed objects. All of these will significantly amplify Yuji's overall curse energy, as well as potentially giving him access to more curse techniques. With Yuji being one of the newest to Jujutsu, he will benefit the most of all the Jujutsu High students from 1 month training. So after this, he would easily scale to a special grade sorcerer. If we think about it this way, Yuji went from having no idea what curse energy was, and in 1 month he had already scaled to some grade 1 sorcerers. So 1 month of training is definitely going to increase his power by a lot. Now the question is, does Yuji have the potential to surpass Gojo and transcend the entire Jujutsu grading system? So currently, Yuji probably is on par with Maki, however, Yuji is yet to actually receive a huge power boost. In my previous video, I discussed Yuji gaining RCT as well as Cleave and Dismantle. It is clear that Yuji is going to have one final battle against either Sukuna or Kenjaku, and this would be a perfect opportunity for Yuji to gain some new abilities. So if Yuji was to gain Reverse Curse Technique, it would make him almost impossible for any of the modern day sorcerers except probably Gojo and Sukuna to defeat Yuji. This is because despite not having RCT, Yuji is already one of the most durable characters, so with RCT, if he was to take any damage, he would easily be able to heal himself back up, and with him increasing his cursed energy supply through cursed objects, it's clear Yuji would be difficult to beat, because he could just spam RCT and just heal up any wounds that he actually does receive. However, with just RCT, Yuji would only have Black Flash as his main weapon. So now, add Cleave and Dismantle on top of this, Yuji could be one of the most dangerous sorcerers in Jujutsu Kaisen's history. Now you're probably thinking that surely with Sukuna's curse techniques, he wouldn't be able to actually scale above Sukuna. This does make sense, however, if we look at Yuji's base stats without any cursed techniques, he is already on par with the 15-finger Sukuna. So now giving a curse technique like Cleave and Dismantle, and even potentially some of Kenjaku's techniques, he would probably scale above Sukuna, but only if he continues to train and increases total curse energy output through the cursed objects. Now I could easily see Gege leaving Yuji with some small power boost that puts him mid special grade sorcerer. This is because Gege even stated himself that he is unsure what to do with Yuji's character. What we mean by this is he doesn't know what powers to give Yuji. He wasn't sure whether to leave him as a brawler, or give him a ridiculously broken curse technique. This got so bad that even in season 1, when Yuji was killed or like his heart ripped out by Sukuna, Gege really contemplated just leaving Yuji dead. So it's clear Gege wants to focus on some other characters. However, he has made Yuji the main character, so it would make sense for the story to end with him being the strongest, as this is shown in manga. What I think is most likely is Yuji's actually the one to surpass Gojo and be the new face of the Jujutsu world. Gojo stated earlier in the story that one day Yuji was going to surpass him. There's actually many statements from Gojo earlier in the story that hint towards Yuji either getting a power up or becoming the strongest in the story. The reason I'm convinced that Yuji is going to get Cleave and Dismantle is because earlier in the story, Gojo stated that one day Sukuna's techniques would be engraved into Yuji. Now this could very easily be overlooked by Gege, however, it is definitely something which should be expanded upon. That is it for the theory, however. If you did enjoy the video and want to support the channel, please consider subscribing, as it means a lot to me and motivates me to put out more of this content. If you have any other fan theories which you want me to cover, then let me know down below, but I will see you guys in the next one. See ya.